It's time for war. Hello again, guys. This is Warzone episode 10. Let's get started. This week's guest host. The guest host for this week was the cast of Hot Tub Time Machine. They did a pretty good, not excellent, guest hosting. We did that 4 out of 10. Next, Legend Lumberjack match. Christian versus Ted DiBiase. Christian ends up winning this match. We give that 5 out of 10. Okay, next, Mickie James, Gail Kim, Beth Phoenix, Kelly, and Eve versus Maurice, Michelle McCool, Vicky Guerrero, Layla, and Alicia Fox. This was somewhat a good match. The team of Mickie James, Kelly, Gail Kim, Beth Phoenix, and Eve ends up winning. We give it 3 out of 10. Okay, next match. Hart Dynasty versus Show Miz. This is a pretty good match. Hart Dynasty ends up winning. We give it a 5 out of 10. Okay, next. Jack Swagger and Batista versus John Cena and Randy Orton. This was probably the best match on Raw. John Cena and Randy Orton ends up winning. We give it 6 out of 10. Raw totally, we give it 5 out of 10. Okay, next for NXT on Tuesday night. Christian, Carlito, William Regal, The Miz, versus CM Punk, Wade Barrett in for Jericho, Matt Hardy, and R-Truth. The team of CM Punk, Wade Barrett, Matt Hardy, and R-Truth ends up winning this match. It was a pretty good match. We give it 5 out of 10. Okay, next match. Heath Slater versus Darren Young versus Michael Tarver versus Justin Gabriel versus Skip Sheffield versus David Otunga versus Daniel Bryan versus Wade Barrett. This was for the guest host. Choose the guest host for Monday Night Raw from next Monday. David Otunga ends up winning this match. This battle royal, and we give it a 3 out of 10. We give it a 3 out of 10. NXT totally, we give it 4 out of 10. Okay, next for Friday Night SmackDown, last night, Friday. Jack Swagger versus Chris Jericho. Jack Swagger comes in and cashes in his Money in the Bank briefcase and ends up beating Jericho easily because it was right after Edge speared Jericho. So that was a short match. We give it a 2 out of 10. Although I see pretty good potential and in Jack Swagger for future. He's gonna be a future Hall of Famer probably, because he's kind of. Some people are saying he's the next Kurt Angle. But anyway, okay, next match. R-Truth and John Morrison versus Crime Time. This is a pretty good match. R-Truth and John Morrison ends up winning. We give it a 3 out of 10. And after the match, Crime Time looks like they're going to split up. Because Shad Gaspard ends up attacking JTG after the match. Okay, next match. This match really never started. So I just rated it 1 out of 10. Drew McIntyre versus Matt Hardy. It never started, so I gave it a 1 out of 10. Okay, next match. The Great Khali versus Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler ends up winning this match after he hits the sleeper hold on Great Khali. And then after the match, Khali says that he's going back to India and going to rest up. And then when he comes back, he's going to be world champion. That match, I gave it a 4 out of 10. Okay, next match. Layla and Michelle McCool versus Tiffany and Beth Phoenix. The team of Tiffany and Beth Phoenix ends up winning this match. It's a pretty good match. Get a 3 out of 10. Okay, next match. Last match on SmackDown. Kane versus the NXT roster. Kane held his own at the beginning of the match, but then at the end, they came back and started beating him, and they got disqualified. Kane ends up winning this match. We give it a 4 out of 10. SmackDown totally, we give it a 3 out of 10. SmackDown wasn't this good this week. Okay, next for Superstar of the Week. Superstar for Monday Night Raw is Randy Orton. Superstar for NXT is David Ortonga. And the Superstar of SmackDown is Kane. And the Superstar of the Week is...
I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me.
Yeah, the Superstar of the Week this week is Randy Orton. Him and John Cena had a pretty good match on Raw against Batista and Jack Swagger. And we decided to give it to them, give it to Orton, because he pinned Swagger, I think it was. But that was a pretty good match on Raw, so I gave Superstar of the Week to Randy Orton. Okay, next, Diva of Raw and SmackDown, and then Diva of the Week. Diva of Raw is Eve, and the Diva of SmackDown for the 6th week in a row, Beth Phoenix. And the Diva of the Week is... Yeah, the Diva of the Week is Eve. She had a pretty good match on Monday Night Raw, and I just didn't want Beth Phoenix to win it again, because she's done had it. She's been Superstar of SmackDown for 6 weeks in a row, and she's been the Diva of the Week for 4. So I decided to take it away. She really didn't do... Well, she did pretty good, but it's just kind of getting boring having her the same for that many weeks in a row. So I decided to give it to Eve, because she did a pretty good job on Raw. Okay, next, this show of the week. The match of the week. The match of the week comes from Monday Night Raw, and it was the main event on Raw. Batista and Jack Swagger versus John Cena and Randy Orton. As I said earlier, this match was a shocker for Cena to pick Orton because of all the feuds that they've had in the past. I pretty like to see would like to see what happens in the future with them four. Okay, probably nothing will ever happen. But anyway, next for the show of the week. The show of the week was the shows this week. Wrestling this week wasn't up to my expectations. I didn't really like 2 of the shows, but one stood out in front of the others. The show of the week is... the show of the week is Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw had probably the best matches of all this week between Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. And the segments were pretty good too. Shawn Michaels retiring, that was somewhat sad. And it was funny. With the guest hosts, remember when they had the Diva hot tub match or whatever it was? And then after they left, that the other guy was supposed to be guest host, but wasn't there because they gave him the wrong address. And he told Mark Henry to get in there with him. And then Mark Henry walks up in there and gets in the thing with this red swim trunks on. It's kind of funny. But anyway, this is it for Warzone episode 10. Make sure to check out Warzone episode 11 next week. Goodbye.